Max Whittle alongside Paul Posluszny, the former Jaguars linebacker. Paul, you said back in March when you retired, there's truly only one acceptable way to play football. What did that mean for you?
It just meant that if I was going to play, I needed to know that I was going to play at my absolute highest level, that physically that I felt great, and that's no longer the case. Just after 11 years of running and hitting, that's taken a little bit of a toll, and I knew that I only wanted to play if I could do an outstanding job for my teammates like I'd been able to in years past. So if I knew there was even a small probability that I wasn't going to be able to do that, that means it's time to stop.
You played 11 seasons. When did it start to become harder?
I would say years 10 and 11 was when I could really say I can feel great, but it just takes a lot of work to feel great, whereas opposed to years previous, that wasn't always the case. So I felt a switch then.
Did you have a feeling after the AFC title game back in January in New England that was going to be it?
I did, and I didn't want to. I wanted to play more. I wanted to continue to play, but walking off that field, I knew that that might be the last NFL game that I ever play. So I definitely knew that was a possibility. I didn't want it to be a reality, but that's what happened.
So what are the stages of deciding to retire? How many are there?
How many are there? That's a good question. There was a lot of deep conversations with my wife and my agent, a gentleman that has represented me for years about the reasons for playing, reasons for not playing, and all of it. My decisions were all based off of, were all health and performance related. I loved the game so much. And I wanted to, deep down, I wanted to continue to play, but I just knew it wasn't right. It wasn't right for me.
So you mentioned your wife there. When you went into the Jaguars facility, what was the order of people that you told, and did you want to make sure that you went up to each guy individually?
Yes, I wanted to. I wanted to basically thank them and do it in a very professional way, because that organization, run by Coach Coughlin, Coach Marrone, they do things first class, and they're very professional in their approach, and I just wanted to be and have gratitude for that and be able to say thank you to them for everything that they've done for me. The order that I think it was Coach Marrone, Coach Coughlin, obviously David Caldwell, the general manager, and then I had the opportunity to talk to our defensive coordinator, Coach Todd Wash, linebacker coach, and then see everyone else on staff as well. That's the thing. In a situation like that, that's when you finally realize there are so many people that are dedicated to helping you have success in the NFL. So you just want to try to give thanks to all of them.
When you told Doug Marrone you were in a suit, so I think he was a bit worried, but when you told him you were retiring, did he say to you, "Are you sure, Paul?"
I think he was very supportive. He was very supportive because he knew that that's not something that I was going to be uncertain of. If I was going to come into his office and say, "Coach, it was an honor to play for you, but I know my time is up," that he knew that I was going to put a lot of serious time and thought into that. So I know he was very supportive and very, I think we just have a different level. I have a certain level of respect for him for everything that he's been able to do for the Jaguars, and I just wanted to show that to him.
I must say, you look like you could play tomorrow. Since you retired in March, how many days have you had off working out?
I'm staying in shape just in case they need me at some point in the season. No, staying in shape and working out, it's gonna be something that I truly love to do it. Especially where we're at, where we have the opportunity to live in Jacksonville, you get to do a lot of stuff outside. Go run on the beach, work out outside. So that. I need to make sure that I keep that as part of my daily lifestyle.
What has changed?
What has changed? I have a lot more time at home right now, which is great because we have 2 little girls, and I get to spend a ton of time with them, which is great. Just being able to have a different schedule. In the NFL, you are very regimented. You specific times of the year are dedicated to specific functions, whether it's getting ready for training camp or preparing for the regular season or off-season training. Now you are responsible for forming your schedule and how regimented you want to be and how to do things. So it's added a different level of responsibility.
Have you had a beer?
Yes, especially since I've been in London.
What will never change?
What will never change? I think my love for the game of football. Even though I don't get to play anymore, I know how much the game of football has given me and my family, and what a pleasure it was to play in the NFL for 11 years.
On a scale of 1 to 10, now that you're retired, how worried are you about concussions?
I'd say, I mean, for me or for the men playing now?
For you, first of all.
For me, how worried am I about it developing into something much worse? Not really. Number one, because I've throughout my career been very, very fortunate that I haven't had to deal with many head injuries, and I just think that there are ways to combat any potential problems that can develop down the road. If you maintain a happy and active and healthy lifestyle, if you stay mentally engaged, then all the issues that can pop up concerning CTE or any other things that are associated with concussions, those can be mitigated. And so I have faith in our medical community and all the support we have as former players, that I'll be able to find all the resources I need to maintain my health.
Do you have certain friends who are retired that have gone through certain issues in terms of head trauma, and will you be seeking those guys out?
I haven't had anyone with anything serious, and I don't know if that's a function of the time and my age group, the guys that I have played with. Now you hear horror stories all the time of older players or former players that from years past, but fortunately for us, I think things have changed. The stigma surrounding concussions have changed, where now it's not, if you get hit, it's not, well, get back out on the field and play. That's not the case at all. But there are, if I was able to have conversations with gentlemen that are going through problems, I mean, I would love to, number one, listen to them, learn from them, and be able to help in any way that I could.
If your girls and any son that you might have down the road wanted to play football, would you let them play?
Yes, I would. I think the benefits are far greater than the risks, especially when you have a question like that. There's so many factors that come into play. Well, if I say, no, you can't play football, does that mean that I say, well, that you can't play lacrosse or baseball or soccer? I mean, so I think, although football can be a dangerous game, there's no doubt about it. We're running into, especially in the NFL, you're running into other grown men as fast as you can over and over again. However, the rewards of being in the NFL or playing football are tremendous, and so they're worth it. It's definitely worth it.
When your teammate Talon Smith was getting emotional during your retirement ceremony, while he was speaking, what did you want to say to him?
I mean, just that, how thankful I was to have him as a teammate, and I love him like a brother. That's one thing that I'm going to miss so much about playing in the National Football League and being a part of the Jaguars is having an opportunity to be around men like Talon Smith every day, where you can have very in-depth personal conversations and and have such a bond for your teammates and the people that you work with. He's an unbelievable man. Obviously, we know that from what he does on the football field, but it was obvious when he showed that and that. So I'm so appreciative that he was able to do that for me.
He mentioned how you took him under your wing. Sorry, would you be able to give us a specific example of a story where you really helped him out?
I think early on in his rookie year, you could see that he had unbelievable talent, and that he was going to become a great football player because he had the right mindset. Physically he has unbelievable God-given gifts, and he works at it. But mentally, that was what the important thing was, where you could see that he was willing to dedicate everything that he could to becoming an elite NFL football player, and it was our responsibility to help him with that. So I helped him his rookie year. We would stay after practice and meetings were done. We would stay a little bit longer and just continue to watch film of ourselves, so that we can learn from our own mistakes, and then watch film of the opponents that we were playing. And we would talk about what to look for, what to watch specifically, how to put yourself in the player on the field's shoes, so you can see things from their perspective and train your mind in that manner. And hopefully that was able to have a solid impact for him.
What's the strangest question a rookie's ever asked you?
You know what? I feel like a lot of times rookies are afraid to ask strange questions, so they keep it very, very basic.
Lots of good memories from your career. Do you remember your first touchdown?
I only scored one touchdown in the NFL. I mean, it was against, we were playing in Denver. Peyton Manning was the quarterback for the Denver Broncos at that time, and I had an interception and was able to run it back for a touchdown. That's one of my best football memories because of who it was against. Obviously, Hall of Famer, and playing for the Jaguars. That's a great memory for me.
59 yards. You're doing yourself a disservice. It was a big run back. Why do you love and respect football so much?
I think because of I know that everything that goes into playing, and I realize the importance of that and how it transfers to other aspects of life, how the structure, the discipline, the importance of teamwork. We learn that through football, at a young age, and how that transfers to other areas as well. And just the camaraderie of being around teammates, being able to be in an environment where you get guys from all over the country, from different areas, different socioeconomic backgrounds, and you're able to come together for one common cause. I think that's a very special thing to be a part of.
Is it going to be hard for you to watch the Jags and the NFL this season?
It is. I've tried to watch preseason games because I want to see how everybody's doing, but it's also I'll sit on the couch for a little bit and say I'm not quite ready, just to sit and watch because I miss it so bad and I want to be on the field with them so bad, and but it's something I'm gonna have to get accustomed to it because, like I said, I want to be around the game and I want to be associated with the Jaguars, so I'm gonna have to get used to it.
Paul, enjoy retirement. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Max Whittle at NFL UK in London.